freshman linebackers really earned their pay last week and shut down the run right there. Now empty backfield. Got hand off into the back, hit into the backfield again.
Third and 12.
That was Mason Manbeck, I believe, on the carry. Yeah. Give that one to Kimberlin.
There we go.
Looks like it's going to be a no-huddle offense. They're going to try to spread the field here as they have 3 to the right and 1 to the left.
Yeah, it's going to be purple.
Now a fumbled snap off the turf. He picks it up. It's tipped into the air and falls. It was almost picked off. We're on, man. Dragons really had a shot at that one. Sam Rourke got a hand on it. Dragons unable to haul it in, so it's going to set up a punting situation here. 4th and 12 for Chanute. So their offense has gone in reverse here a little bit.
And not the start you want for Chanute here in your home turf against PHS.
And that pass stops the clock. 10:50 to play here, first quarter. Punts away. It's a end over end, kind of short punt. You want to get out of the way of it if you're the Dragons. And it'll take a Chanute roll all the way to the Pittsburg high 39-yard line. That's where the Dragons will start this drive. As Ty Rourke leads the offense out on the field. Didn't take long to get going last week. Brandis Evans took the handoff on the first play of the game, went 45 yards for a touchdown. Exactly like they drew that one up in the locker room. Dragons come out in the I formation, 2 wide receivers off the far side. Evans and Freeman behind Rourke. Chanute showing some pressure. Here's a fake handoff to Evans. Now they'll run option far side, pitch out to Freeman. And Freeman splits a couple of defenders out across the midfield to the 45-yard line, a gain of about 16 yards on his first carry. Nice little option look that time by the Dragons. Caught Chanute looking inside.
Yep.
That gave to the fullbacks what caught Labette County last week. Chanute wasn't going to fall for that. Instead, Dragons able to spring it wide and get around the corner.
And just like that, they're on the other side of the 50.
If he ran a deep pitch, he may
Rourke
have tried to
line up in the shotgun with Evans in the backfield, 3 wide receivers in the near side. 4 wide receivers set. Bad snap. If he gets it away and it's caught. How terrifying. Yeah. Joel Kafka hauls that one in. And it looks like a gain of about 5 yards.
That was I don't think that was going to be his first option there on that play, but it was basically a last-minute resort.
That was a self-preservation pass there. You need chicken salad right there because that ball was snapped out onto the turf. He picked it up off the top of his shoes, and Rourke able to find an open man. Talk about a heady play. I formation.
He saw where the
tied into the near side.
He just left the out pretty
Evans and Freeman in the backfield behind Rourke. Here's the snap. Hand off to Freeman. Finds a little crease inside, and he'll pick up about 6 yards. That'll be enough for a first down. And
it's going to be amazing. It's close.
And it's close. It looks like from where the spot is.
Yeah, I mean, it was that spot route we talked about.
We'll have to see here. It's a great run on the right side, and I think they're gonna double check here and see how.
They're gonna measure, but in my professional opinion, I think it got it.
How professional is that, though?
Well, I don't know. I might have got a lazy eye or something. So let's see.
This is also a good thing, though, for both teams, because while they're, getting this figured out if it's a first down or not, it's letting them either think about the third down play or the first down play for both sides on offense and defense.
First down.
I would just run the first down. I'd run first, man. It's a touchdown.
It's better news for Chanute, I think, to slow things down, because they haven't really had much of an answer for the Dragons' offense so far. Pittsburg takes up the first down.
2 yards wide.
10 at the Chanute 34.
I don't know if it was just a rush throw or he was trying to throw it past him to that out to that comeback. That's why I asked. Well, I know if I was running, that was the same route that Sean.
2 carries so far for Freeman. He's got 21 yards on the game. Brandis Evans
trying to throw past
yet to carry 1 here.
It's just hard to tell.
It's an I formation, 2 wide receivers this time off to the far side for the Dragons.
It went wide and Trent was left-handed.
Rourke under center, quick pitch outside, toss sweep to Freeman, finds a nice, ooh, he's elusive, he just juked somebody right out of their socks. Out there at about the 25-yard line, and he'll pick up a first down.
Come closer, move closer. That was a good run on the outside and a good couple shimmies here and there to get the first down, and now PHS knocking on the door at about the 22-yard line on 1st and 10.
Call that about a 12-yard run for Freeman there. Now shotgun again for Rourke.
Going to Joel.
Evans just move to the other side. Here's the snap. Rourke looking to pass. Throws over the middle and too high. Looks like his intended receiver was Joel Kafka.
And it looked like that was the first pass of the day first pass almost in the red zone there for PHS, and he had a man. Looked like it was all verts right there, but I think it was just a little too much.
Yeah, you know, conditions down there don't really lend themselves to having a real good grip on the ball. Just sailed away from him.
No, he said I asked him before. He said he didn't throw very well.
Looks like PHS will go back to that I formation.
Yeah, bread and butter. There you go, hard count. Chanute's pointing across, but
I think a PHS lineman did get that extra jump there.
So is he good to go on the next set, or
legal procedure there.
I don't know how much he's been in on. Here he comes, but
Yeah, that ball.
I told Bill he'd play some. And he's ready to play
So that'll put him at a 2nd and 15 at the 27.
And Dragons had problems with this legal procedure last week. It seemed like most of the first half they were starting at 1st and 15, but it didn't really slow them down much.
Almost covering up through.
Tucks it down. He's going to take off. He's hit from behind and brought down about the 26-yard line. But smart decision by Rourke, not throwing the ball away. Tucks it, gets what he can, but it will bring up a 3rd down and long for the Dragons.
And Rourke took a bit of a shot there by 2 defenders there by Chanute, and that's the good rollout play that they have ran for so many years, and you saw that with Chase Curtis last year and how dominant and successful that was. But still, regardless, you're right, a 3rd and long here for the Dragons. And it looks like a timeout's actually going to get called. I believe they called, PHS was the ones that called that timeout.
Pittsburg High took that timeout. 8:24 to play, first quarter. We're scoreless here in Chanute. The Comets came, got the ball first, went 3 and out, punted away to the Dragons, and they had been rolling. They had an incomplete pass and then a false start. Backed them up, and now they're looking at a 3rd and long after a short quarterback scramble by Rourke. Rolled out, didn't have anybody open, and just tucked it and got caught from behind. Not a sack, though.
And here, if you're Chanute, you kind of want to run a pre-bet defense because it's a 3rd and long situation, so you can give up stuff on the inside. A little bit of wet conditions out there, so you probably won't see the field goal unit right off the bat. You might see them go for it on 4th down if PHS doesn't convert.
I don't need it.
What do you need?
Nothing.
See what the Dragons have in the playbook for this situation. Shotgun formation here for Rourke. 2 tight ends.
And another false start. It looked like the defense shifted a little bit there, and that's what drew a lineman to move over a little bit, and that's going to push him back even further.
You see Finley back out, kind of telling his fellow linemen, just settle down. Stay in your stance. It's 3rd and 20 for the Dragons.
And it looked like Rourke was definitely going to get away from that, but Davis with the ankle tackle there might have got the shoestring, and that was able to bring down Roark. Big momentum play for Chanute's defense. And they're definitely feeling it right now, and they're trying to get their crowd into it.
Yeah, and, not pressure off the edge, just right up the gut, and sometimes that's really hard to get away from as a quarterback, and Dragons forced to punt it. Kick is away from Dylan White. High kick into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. And Northland just carried it a little bit too far, 3 yards deep into the end zone, 7:34 play. First quarter. Scoreless here in the Chanute.
Now we'll see if Chanute wants to mix things up here and try to do something, because that defensive line was causing nothing but fits on the very first drive for Chanute.
They played that whole possession in the Chanute backfield. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the near side, shotgun formation for Bowman. Davis is the lone man in the backfield with him, as is Common. Pass on the way, caught, tackled immediately out there on the outside.
Incomplete. He waved it off. Second 10.
And it's actually
going to call it incomplete.
Yep.
Didn't come down clean with it. Pass was intended for Lane Hard, but he couldn't haul it in.
I think it's the second half.
Yeah, it looked like he had it from up here.
Hey, you're going to get...
he's not going to come down with it. And Bowman, the lefty here, not too many lefties out there, so but a little bit of love there for him. He had a pretty decent release there and was able to get his man pretty quickly.
Now second down and 10, shotgun again, 2 wide receivers off to the far side. Bowman being pursued from behind, and he's hit and brought down after a gain of about 1 on the keeper.
3rd and 7, 3rd and 8.
And so that looked like an interesting situation there. It was supposed to be a pass play, a rollout to the right side, so a little bit harder for a lefty quarterback to do so, but it ended up looking like it was just a quarterback sweep because Bowman had the ball tucked the whole time.
Yeah, and he realized very quickly that this was not going to be a pass attempt. Picked up a couple yards on the play, bring up a 3rd down and 8. Good situation here for the Dragon defense.
Same look here.
Got about 10 seconds on the play clock, and I think they're going to have to burn a timeout here.
Timeout to avoid a delay.
Yeah.
6:49 to play. First quarter, and we've seen a little bit of confusion, a little bit of jitters from both teams here early on. Teams burned a timeout on their first possession. Chanute here on their second. Both teams down there, 2 timeouts first half.
Yeah, it might be just, you've got 1 game under your belt, but that's still not enough. I feel like you're still going to have those little mishaps and stuff like that. Coach Nicholson definitely knows what that's like. Last year they had the same problems a little bit. Slow start, but then they kind of figured things out, and that's probably the same thing in this situation.
Yeah, Dragons, some of the things that were working last week, not working as well this week, so we're going to find the chink in the armor here of this Chanute defense.
And it looks like there's a player currently getting stretched out here for the Blue Comets. I believe it is Cooper McMillan on the sidelines. It might be one of those stretch it out cramp plays. Yep.
Early season for a post corner here. Joel's got to be
conditioning not maybe quite what it should be early in the season for lots of players, and it's just something fairly common, especially the warmer it is. But tonight, not too hot. Shotgun now, being pursued.
Good
throw a pick. He's going to throw a pick. It's
good pick, Trento.
Intercepted. Nice play that time by Trenton Austin. Getting in there into the passing lane. It looked like Bowman was just going to throw it away and live to fight another day, but then he tried to lace it in there on the sideline.
And I think
Austin right in the right place at the right time.
That should have been the move by Bowman, is just throw that thing away, punt it, and go. But I think it was a little bit of a panic last-minute decision by him, and it ended up costing him. Now it's going to be 1st and 10, and the PHS Purple Dragons are now in the red zone.
Now, there were several Blue Comets open, but they're all on the sideline. Shotgun formation now. Trips to the far side for Rourke. The handoff goes to Brandis Evans right up inside. He takes a shot in the leg.
How did that look on that?
From Tyler Davis.
They ran a
picks up a good 4-yard gain there on his first carry.
And I know you laughed about it last week, Josh, and they qualify Evans as a fullback, but we all know he's not a fullback. He's definitely qualified to be a halfback slot.
Trento and Now, Chanute ended up out there because I think the tight end was blocking so far out.
So now it's going to be a 2nd and 5 for the Purple Dragons.
Well, no, I think
Pistol
he
look
did.
there.
That's what I'm saying. I
Now
think
Rourke will keep himself, pitch it out to Freeman. He handles the
blocking
pitch,
way
trying to
out.
turn the corner, cuts it back inside, able to pick up the first down
That's a good play by Chanute there.
at the 8-yard line.
I think he was able to get that first down as well. He will.
Call that a 7-yard gain for Freeman.
And it's going to be inside the 10, so it'll be a 1st and goal.
Yes.
Yep, 1st and goal now for the Dragons at the Blue Comet 8-yard line. Just turnovers, man, they will kill you.
That was Sammy and Ben. Hey, on that, we walked up on
Now high formation. Here goes the handoff to Freeman. Finds a little crease. He's slung forward. But that's not what you want to do when you're looking at 1st and goal if you're a defender. So Freeman's going to carry it down to about the 1-yard line. Another 7-yard gain for Brett. And he'll set the Dragons up 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line.
You got a lot of variety of plays to run here. You can run a quarterback sneak. You can give it to your technically fullback in Evans, and
You're technically fullback in the program. Double tight set this time for the Dragons. I formation. And Brandis Evans gets it, goes head over heels, takes a shot down low. That's something that Chanute's doing tonight. They're hitting Evans low. He's all right, though. He advanced the ball a couple of feet, but not quite across the goal line.
And it's going to be 3rd and goal. 5 minutes on the clock and counting.
Well, the Dragons have made a lot more hay getting around the corner against Chanute tonight. Evans carries it right in the end zone, nothing doing. Touchdown, Pittsburg High. Once he got that head of steam, had less than a yard to go. They were fortunate to stop him the first time. Couldn't get it done that time. And the Dragons are on the board. They lead at 6-0 here. 4:53 to play in the first quarter. Brandis Evans with the 1-yard touchdown plunge after the interception by Trenton Austin. Set the whole thing up. His extra point attempt, snaps no good. Rolling out to the far side.
What an effort.
Beamers.
And he didn't get it. Wow.
Didn't get it. Oh, man.
What an effort, though. Saving it, almost.
Almost got it. It was almost pretty. Almost pretty. Well, that's where we stand. 6-0. 4:53 to play first quarter. We'll step away for 1 minute, and we'll be back. You're watching Pittsburgh High School football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com.
Jesus. Wider's the one that was terrible on that last one. He's got to get going. You gotta watch here. He's getting involved.
And welcome back here to Chanute, Kansas.
Saved by the shoestrings of Harvey by Purple Dragon.
Experiencing some technical difficulty with the internet broadcast. We'll hopefully get that back up here real soon for you. But in the meantime,
He didn't get the kickoff, but whoever he hit was late. Here's out of the huddle. We got Pipe tight trips.
Here at Army, all the way up to the 35-yard line. That's where Chanute will take over here.
Yep, I got it.
On their third possession of the ball game. Shotgun formation once again. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Dragons bringing some pressure into the backfield. Missed tackle. And a short gain that time for Tyler Davis. As he's brought down after a gain of about 1 yard.
Hey, you've got 32. You've got tight spread.
Davis, you have to get things going, running the ball for Chanute.
So you got to check red here.
Still
check
negative
red.
rushing department. Empty backfield now for Bowman. There's the snap. Bowman's going to keep himself right up the middle. Shakes one tackler. Now getting around the corner and finally pushed out of bounds.
And back for third and three.
That was Dylan White who forced him out. It's going to be a gain of about 7 on the play for Bowman.
Bring up a third and long 2. Comets has their own 43.
Yeah, they're going to stay in this spread, double tight spread.
Now empty backfield.
Hey, this tight end on my side's ineligible though.
Formation here.
Treno doesn't. He's not coming out on a route on my side. He's covered up.
Quick pass to the outside, and 3 white jerseys there to greet Lane Harvey.
Yes.
Senior wide receiver. 6 foot, 161 pounds. Once you get a arm around him, he's gonna have a hard time shaking loose. 3:40 to play, first quarter. Dragons on top, 6-0. Chanute looking at 4th and 2. Looks like they're set to punt this one away. Back to receive for the Dragons, Dylan White and Joel Kafka. There's a snap. Punt is away. High punt. Dragons are going to let it bounce. It's going to take a Chanute bounce inside the 20. And it's going to roll inside the 15 and be down just inside the Pittsburg High 15-yard line. That's where the Dragons will take over deep in their own territory.
That tight end on the 3 receiver side, he was covered up. So Treno needs to pay attention so he doesn't waste, so he knows his coverage. It's not him if he's covered up.
3:08 to play, first quarter. Dragons on top 6-0.
No. In that last one, it was that tight end spread, that tight spread look.
2 punts and an interception so far here in the first quarter, so the defense is looking pretty good.
Strong side tight end on
took advantage of a short field last time. Here they are in the I formation. Quick pitch to the outside to Freeman. Cuts around the outside, has some running room. Out across 25 to the 30. Penalty flag down right around the 30-yard line. And we'll see what the call is from the official. It's in the neighborhood of a hold or a block in the back.
Number 5 was covered up.
Senior Bryson Ellis.
Wait for the white hat.
Got a hold.
I don't think on the other one he was, but on that last one he was covered.
The guy called for holding. That'll back him up.
Yeah,
He just 10 yards in the spot of the foul, but it still ends up being a 5-yard gain.
That makes it easier for him.
It'll make it first down and 5 at the 20-yard line. 20 yards and penalties so far tonight against the Dragons.
Did you look at that last kickoff?
Shotgun now for Rourke, feeling pressure. He's going to throw downfield. He's got a man, and it's caught! Dylan White running a bit of a seam route there. Able to haul that one in, and they bring him down, but not until he's deep into Chanute territory, inside the 35 at the 34-yard line. 45-yard pass play that time.
On the first one, Bud and Ethan were moving slow and didn't break in. It's like
50 yards passing now for Ty Rourke on 2 plays.
From the one
high formation for the Dragons.
Never broke in.
And they'll give it to Brandis Evans right up the middle, shakes through one man, and finally brought down after a gain of about 9 yards on the play. So,
and Butler has the iPad, so I just didn't look at it. But those were the two that I noticed from the first.
Bring up a 2nd down and 1 here for the Dragons, and lots of plays in the playbook for this situation, Avi.
Indeed. And now at about a 2nd and 1 here, you have a lot of options. Definitely, one of my favorite things to do here is just air it out, because you have multiple chances of getting a first down on short gains.
Looks like Dragons are thinking that. Here's the shotgun. Rourke looking to pass. He'll throw a screen back near side, or far side, I'm sorry, to Freeman. Picks up a block on the outside, has another block. Working it. Look how patient he is. And into the end zone for the touchdown.
Matthew Moore.
Brett Freeman.
And Freeman couldn't have ran that play any better himself. A great backdoor screen, and he just wait for his big hogs up front to just block for him, do the dirty work while he was able to just run on in.
26-yard touchdown pass from Rourke to Freeman.
Yeah.
That makes the score 12-0 here. 152 left to play in the first quarter. It's been a long day, man. Long day. Dragons line up. They're going to go for 2 here in this situation. 3 wide receivers near side. Here's the snap to Rourke in the shotgun. Pass outside, broken up. Batted down at the last minute. Heads up defensive play that time by Corbett Kimberlin. Kimberlin jumped that passing lane, able to slap that one down. But nonetheless, Dragons take a 12-0 lead. 1:52 to play here. First quarter. We'll step away for 30 seconds, and we'll be back here listening to Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7. And maybe we'll get it back up live on ESPN 100.7. Jimmy, go tell her.
Picking up Josh, the crowd mic. The crowd mic's not even up. I don't know what mic it's picking up.
Well, Dragons in the first quarter took advantage of the short field, quite the opposite last time as they took over that position on their own 15-yard line. Drove it right down the field. 45-yard pass and a 26-yard pass.
Okay.
Highlights of that drive, the last one, a 26-yard touchdown pass from Rourke to Brett Freeman. Kickoff goes out of bounds. There's a flag, and Chanute will take over with pretty good field position to start this drive.
Hey, so why is he calling Omaha when they're in a bogey and a 7? Why are we not just calling 12?
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, it's at plus 24.
Yeah.
Chanute will take over on the 35. Pretty good field position.
The noise reduction and
double tight end set again.
noise reduction was checked, so they have to be.
Bowman alone in the backfield now, man in motion.
Speed option
Is Harvey. Here's the option to Harvey. He's caught up in the backfield, and a great play on the outside. A combination of Austin.
Okay, and then as for the video, it's just gone. I don't
Austin
even know.
and Dylan Jordan out there to make the play for the Dragons.
Okay.
Jordan, if you
All right,
remember,
well, I'll keep messing with that then.
was a load to handle last week, coming off the edge against
they're back to
Quebec County.
Yeah.
Dragons haven't had the
He's playing
pressure on the passer as much tonight against Chanute. This offense just seems a little bit faster paced than Quebec County. The quarterback getting rid of the ball quite a bit faster. Now Davis in the backfield with Bowman, still lined up in the shotgun. He'll roll far side, being pursued. And they're going to get him, sack him in the backfield. First sack of the ball game for the Dragons.
3rd and 20.
And that's Austin again. He's having a heck of a game here today. A sack, a couple tackles, and an interception so far.
What do you want coverage-wise?
Trenton Austin showing out here tonight.
Yep, he's still got
Under 40 seconds left to play here first quarter. Chanute looking at a 3rd and forever at their own 25-yard line. We'll call it 3rd and 20. That's what causing Matt and Pippen. Empty backfield. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's going to be a screen pass picked off. Oh, man, you don't see that very often. Bentley Beckout able to haul that one in. Just recognized the play, diagnosed it, put himself in the right position, and hauled in the screen pass. You know you haven't sold it if it gets picked off by a lineman.
And another turnover on that side of the field, Josh, which now means PHS has great field position again, and they can knock on the door and add more to their lead with 21 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Which would explain their formations. Yeah, he's 65. So he's
Under 20 seconds to play, first quarter. Dragons going to throw it, pass through the hands of Dylan White. Couldn't haul it in. He was trying to keep his feet in bounds and lay out for that one. And
he's going to have to be careful. You may tell him if you catch him.
And
couldn't quite haul it in.
So
First incomplete pass of the night by Ty Rourke.
it's going to be a 2nd and 10 now for PHS. It looked like it was a good play, and it was wide open man. It's just it was a little bit too much to the outside by Roark.
High formation now for the Dragons. And there's the handoff to Brandis Evans right up the middle, and he's going to be brought down by Tyler Davis. This picks up a couple on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 7. And that'll bring it in to the first quarter. We'll step away for 2 minutes, and we'll be back. Pittsburg is leading it 12-0 from here in Chanute. You're listening to Pittsburg High School football on ESPN 100.7. Near side, looks to pass, has a man over the middle, the catch is made, and Steele reaching for the goal line.
He's on the 1.
And they're going to call him down just inside the 1-yard line, just short of the goal. It is a completed pass, but Steele unable to get it across the goal line. Came open there. Good find by Rourke. Now the Dragons looking at a 1st and goal inside the 1-yard line.
Dragons completed down to the 1-yard line will be a 1st and goal for Pittsburg.
And that one's in there. Handoff right up the gut. That's Brandis Evans once again. Another short touchdown run for him. And the Dragons extend that lead. Really to 18-0.
Yeah, Coach Matt.
It's like a 1945 score. 11:35 to play here in the first half.
Yep.
Shamari.
Okay. Okay.
On to attempt the extra point.
0.
Petty. Kick is up.
And then
Into that
live
north
commentary
wind.
is 50.
And it's good. 11:35 to play first half. Dragons on top. 19-0. We'll step away for 30 seconds. You're listening to Pittsburg High School football on ESPN 100.7.
Is that with the camera on top?
So can we shut down production truck and bring it back up or something? Can we?
I don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna go back to next split. It's been a fairly dominating performance here, especially by the Pittsburg High School defense. In the first half, offense has looked good for the most part. Dragons have to take this one away. And north wind's really picked up.
If I click live, it says stopping the stroke, confirm it.
Keeping things nice and cool on top of the back of the end zone. If this is a bad snap, it's not good news for Chanute. Good snap. Gets the kick away, low, end over end. It's going to take a hop. The Dragons are going to let this one roll, and it'll be downed at the Chanute 48-yard line.
47.
Net of about 43 yards on the punt. So as low and as wobbly as it was, you got a pretty good net out of it. And the Dragons will take over 1st and 10 at the Chanute 45. 2:15 to play first half.
And PHS only has one timeout remaining here with that 2:15.
For most of the first half, Dragons kind of had their way offensively with Chanute, but the last 2 possessions have ended in interceptions. They were under through one, and I think he just didn't see the defender on the first one. Now he's in the pistol. Hands it off to Freeman, nowhere to go. Brett, he's brought down for a 2 or 3 yard loss. Let's see what the official's going to mark. It looks like a 2-yard loss. Freeman.
Yeah, I think Woods missed him.
And now, clock's ticking here, so we'll see what they're going to do. Looks like they're taking their time, to be honest with you. Yeah.
It looked like he kind of understepped it and then bounced it back.
And PHS will get the ball at half, after half.
Shotgun now for Rourke. Looks for the quick pass. A little pump fake. Here it goes. And in caught by Dylan White. Gets a foot down inbounds. You better get it to him. And they do.
That's good.
First down and 10 for the Dragons as White hauls it in at the 20-yard line.
And that was just a great athletic play by White. The ball was thrown a little bit behind him, so he actually had to stop because he had his man beat. If Roark was able to air that thing out a little bit further with White in stride, that was 6 points.
Gain of 25 yards on the play.
They're at the 20-yard line now.
Just outside the 20-yard line. They'll line up in the pistol. 3 wide receivers off the far side. White, the lone receiver, to the near side. Just 5 down linemen here. Rourke will keep it himself. He's smothered up. They're going to run option. And Rourke in didn't feel comfortable with the pitch. That was covered up, so he kept it himself and just got what he could. Ends up losing about a yard on the play to bring up second down on the left.
Be a 2nd and 10.
We could. We're in danger of being up and running again.
Working on it. Working on it.
For those of you tuning in from Russian hacker fans out there. Now Rourke rolling to the far side with the throw. The catch is made on the far side. I think that's Brett Weimer's, and it is with the catch. And it'll set the Dragons up first down and goal at about the, we're going to mark this at the 9-yard line. Call that an 11-yard gain.
49 seconds, plenty of time here. You can definitely run the ball here, do whatever you want in this situation for PHS. And for the Blue Comets, you know you got to jam that middle because Evans has been a workhorse up the gut.
Evans not in the backfield this time. Trips to the near side. Freeman alone back in the backfield with Rourke. Chips away, gets the block. Pass coming and caught. Dylan White with the touchdown catch. And the Dragons add 6 to their lead. They lead it now 25-0. 42 seconds left to play first half. I hope they convert this extra point because 25 is just a really weird score for football. You're not supposed to have that.
Down there.
And they're going to go for the...
Like that Eagles-Browns preseason game with them in like 5-3 or something.
5-0.
5-0, and it's a baseball score.
Said Benny and Andrew may have to work on that. They got to go with it.
Just learning to attempt the extra point. Hold is down. Kick is up. Hanging, and it's good. If that wind was much stronger, I don't know.
Someone catch Brett. Tell him to take a breather.
Lob that sucker.
And let D. White go.
Dragons lead at 26-0. 42 seconds left to play here in the first half. We'll step away for 30 seconds and we'll be back. You're listening to Pittsburg High School Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live now again on ESPN 1007.com.
Dylan.
Owned this first half just like they owned the first half last week. I mean, in a different fashion, but still pitching a shutout here in the first half. Yet to give up any points this season. In the first 2 frames, only score they give up last week is a 95-yard kickoff return. And it's a low squibber kick. And down at the 28-yard line. Chanute will have it there. First 10, 40 seconds to work here before the half. I don't understand.
And with 40 seconds on the clock here, Josh, we'll see if Chanute here just plays it safe and wants to take a knee. It doesn't look like the case. They're going to run their traditional pistol formation.
That's right.
And they might run some offensive plays to try to get some field position. They do have 2 timeouts.
And lined up in the pistol once again. Bowman back there getting pressured fast. Gets the pass away. It's caught, but not for much by Corbett Kimberlin.
Looks like it's going to be a 2nd and long here. Clock is ticking, so we'll see if they can get going.
19 seconds and counting now for the Blue Comets. They don't look like they're ready to slow things down. 3 wide receivers off the far side. Bowman in the shotgun. Back to pass once again. Pressured. Steps up through it. Good move by Bowman. He'll keep it himself. And and slides down at the 34-yard line, and that'll be the final play of the first half. A first half that has belonged entirely to the Pittsburg High School Dragons. Chanute's defense made a couple plays, but their offense unable to get anything going at all. No first downs in the first half for Chanute, and the Dragons lead at 26-0 at the break. We'll step away for 2 minutes, and we'll be back. You're watching and listening Pittsburg High School Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com. Mark Limits out there on the field right now.
I like it.
At the break, Pittsburg High on top, 26-0. The Dragon defense just completely dominated that first half, forcing 3 interceptions, almost recovering a couple of fumbles, keeping Chanute from picking up a single first down in the entire first half.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it was a interesting first half there for the Purple Dragons because they were. It was a little sluggish, Josh, and I don't know if they're going to blame the weather. I know Coach Nicholson won't do that. He'll definitely want to say that plays weren't ran correctly, and so they'll have to make some adjustments. But however, the Purple Dragons still were able to do things that they wanted to, and that's the ground and pound game, and it was very successful in the first half. They were able to throw the ball, and it looked like towards the end of the second quarter, they were throwing the ball very well. They were throwing a lot, and it was consistent, and it looked like Roark had time, was comfortable, and even when he was rolling out, he was able to find his men pretty easy. And then the running game, I can't credit enough how good Evans and Freeman have been when, Evans just does his own thing. He just goes up the middle, and where he lands, he lands. And then Freeman, on the other hand, he will do the Le'Veon feature, like you mentioned. He will just wait for the hole to open up, and then he will go. And as for Chanute, you saw a bit of progression. It looked like they were wanting to do things, and it didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to. And that has to be credit to the Purple Dragon defensive line. It all starts there, and with them causing problems up front, it makes a tough time for Bowman to throw the football. And when Bowman does throw the football, he's finding more players in white than he is in Columbia blue.
Yeah, it's been a rough night passing the ball. Bowman has only completed one pass, and that was for a loss of 1 yard. So he is technically 1 for 4. let's make that 2 for 5 for 1 yard. And he has thrown 3 interceptions. So, not a good night. Not a good night for Bowman. But we're only halfway through this one. And Chanute in the locker room now, talking things over, probably trying to figure out what, if anything, was working for him there in the first half. Maybe try and emphasize that more here a little in the second half for the Dragons, man. You just want to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, and you know the interesting thing is that the very first drive, and actually the first couple drives, is the Blue Comets defense were making stands. They were holding Pittsburg, and Pittsburg couldn't do what they wanted to right off the bat, and so that caused problems. And now it shows that the Purple Dragons kind of figured things out, and they're up and going. And so I think the Blue Comet defense can figure something out. They gotta keep it up.
So we'll take a quick break for a couple minutes. We'll come back and take a look at some of these first half stats from tonight's matchup. At the halftime break, Pittsburg High on top of Chanute Blue Comets, 26-0. You're watching Pittsburg High School football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com. Between the Chanute Blue Comets and the Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons. At the break, the Dragons lead it 26-0. Just a dominating first half by the Dragons as they had their way defensively with Chanute. As we mentioned earlier, I feel like I'm just beating a dead horse with this one. Yes. beating a dead horse with this one, Avi. No first downs for Chanute.
Yeah.
Not first half, over.
And on that, Josh, you just have to credit the Pittsburgh defense. And I know we've said that multiple times, but that you're just playing a good defense. And so when you're playing a good defense like that, it's hard to overcome the adversity and try to get those first downs and try to get the plays. And you got to credit Coach Nicholson and the coaching staff for that. And, for the Blue Columns, you just got to keep going. I mean, you have 2 more quarters of football left to prove yourselves and try to, get that first down. Baby steps, as they say.
Try and get that first down.
One step.
You got to build on something. And I thought maybe they were going to take advantage of some momentum swings when they were able to come up with those interceptions in the first half. But man, that Dragon defense just came out and smothered them. And you just got to take your hat off to that effort of those front 7, pretty much the whole unit, because the defensive backs have been there when Bowman's been able to get rid of it to a receiver. The defensive backs have either immediately made the tackle or they've been there to pick the pass off.
Yep.
And it's been just a dominating performance so far by the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons. Let's take a look at our highly unofficial first half stats for the Dragons here. They're led in rushing by Brett Freeman. He's got 66 yards on 8 carries and just making a lot of damage around the end tonight, running that option for the Dragons. He's been able to get a couple runs up the middle, but most of them have been on the option around the end. Next up, Brandis Evans, 46 yards on 10 carries, 2 touchdowns, both on 1-yard plunges across the goal line. Then Ty Rourke with 13 yards on 4 carries. He's had to jump on a couple of bad snaps, and that's cost him some yards there, but overall a good rushing performance by the Purple Dragons. Passing, Rourke is 6 of 10 for 135 yards. He's thrown 2 touchdowns, but he's also thrown 2 interceptions. And man, you take away those 2 interceptions, and he'd be 6 of 8 for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Rourke kind of trying to force a couple of them in there in the first half, and he paid the price for that as they were picked off. And but still, that's really the only thing that Chanute has moving in a positive direction for them tonight. Receiving for the Dragons, Dylan White leading the way. He's got 70 yards on 2 receptions. Brett Freeman, 26 yards on 1 reception, but a touchdown on that screen pass that he just kind of picked his way behind his blockers and made his way 26 yards down the field for a touchdown. A pretty impressive pass. And 1 reception for Steele. He's got 23 yards on 1 reception. And Brent Weimer's 11 yards on 1 reception. And then offensively, Joel Kafka, 1 reception for 5 yards for the Dragons as well. So a highly productive first half. Hold on a second. Let me just add up these Chanute offensive stats in my head. They're led in rushing. It's a very Tyler Davis has 1 yard on 4 carries. 5 carries. 1 yard on 5 carries for Chanute. And then, Ty Bowman, negative 4 yards on 7 carries. Passing, like I mentioned before, he is 2 of 5 for 1 yard, and he has thrown 3 interceptions. Receiving-wise, I believe Corbett Kimmerlin has the lone reception for 2 yards for Chanute. Their defense has come up with a couple of interceptions. That's the lone bright spot for Chanute. They've had a couple of half-decent kickoff returns. Man, but other than that, a lot of stuff to work on. Lots of things to discuss in the locker room for Chanute. We're a couple of minutes away from kickoff here of the third quarter as the Dragons try and keep their foot on the gas. We'll see how long the starters stay in this one. We saw them leave the game with about 8 minutes left to play in the third quarter last week. We'll see how long they're on the field this time. We'll step away for 2 minutes, and we'll be back. You're watching Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7.com and on the radio at ESPN 100.7.
The true test of a great insurance agency comes when you suffer a loss. It's easy to take your premiums. But Ray Ryan of Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh knows that handling your claim is the most important service an insured needs.
Claim is our chance to let the customer know that we'll be out there, not just that we sold them a policy, we'll also be there when a claim occurs to make sure it gets handled in an honest, respectable way.
Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh, a trusted choice agency. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Are you tired of all those confusing checking account options? The Kansas Teachers Community Credit Union makes your choice simple. We only have one option. Our checking account has no monthly fees, and if you maintain a $2,000 minimum balance, we pay you interest. Get the Credit Union Advantage at 416 North Broadway or call 620-231-5719 for more information. Deposits are federally insured by NCUA up to $250,000.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
If you're in the mood for shopping, visit Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. Pittsburgh's original one-stop shopping center has a lot to offer. A great variety of clothing and shoes for the whole family, a large selection of gifts, sporting goods, events, and entertainment, plus terrific places to eat, and you can enjoy the newest movies in 8 theaters. Shop the comfortable and convenient atmosphere at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. There's always something happening at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall.
From scoring the winning touchdown to walking in graduation, life is full of wonderful moments. But the best times can come with financial challenges, like paying for college or a room renovation. This is Brian Sutton, Market President of Commerce Bank in Pittsburgh. At Commerce, we make the harder stuff easy. Whatever your challenge is, we want to listen and help find solutions so you can focus on the good stuff, like cheering on your favorite team. Check us out at commercebank.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter for tips on making the most of life. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted.
Bittner Motors is proud to announce that it's now Pittsburgh's dealer for the Hustler line of zero-turn lawnmowers. Hustler's manufactured its trademark yellow mowers for over 50 years, each mower being distributed right here in Kansas. Hustler combines the innovative American spirit with a do-it-right work ethic to produce the best line of zero-turn mowers on the market. Call Mike Bittner at 620-232-1530 or stop by today at 1018 North Broadway in Pittsburgh to check out the Hustler line of zero-turn mowers.
Now back to Dragon football.
And we welcome you back out to Chanute High School as our score is 26-0. Pittsburgh High School with the lead. We got about just a minute and a half left before both teams will come back out and start playing, as Josh is now ran back and he is here now. So let him take back over. I got my about 10
cardio.
I got my 10-15 seconds of fame there, so I'm good.
Yeah. You like driving this thing, do you? We're about a minute and 17 away from kickoff. I'm going to need that just to get it back together here after running up those bleachers.
I mean, I can do some talking if you'd like.
Yeah, I am not prepared for the zombie apocalypse. I'll tell you that right now. They'd have me for lunch.
Well, you know, I was looking through some of your halftime stats, Josh.
Very unofficial.
One thing that stood out to me was Ty Bowman's rushing stats, and you kind of can't give him the fault for having the negative yards because there were times where he had snaps that were over his head, that were on the ground, and
most of his negative carries are just saving the possession and falling on the ball. So no, you can't fault him for that. And it looked unfortunate for him, but now again, that's in the past. So it's ancient history, buddy.
Two brand new quarters. You got to go out there and give it your all and try to, like I said, one step at a time and see what you can progress from there.
Dragons will receive the kick to start the second half. Not good news for Chanute because they need to make up some ground quick. They're going to have to get a stop first. Pretty good crowd made the trip tonight from Pittsburgh. Not the best weather, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I think we'd have made better time here in a speedboat than in our car.
Also, I'll credit Chanute because they were tailgating before the game.
There were tailgaters here. And it was raining like a fire hose.
During the storm,
Yeah.
Yep. Credit to them for that.
And they were not barbecuing. There's no possible way.
There actually was a grill out there.
It was. Yeah, there's no way there was anything cooking on that grill.
And so,
like grilling on the deck of a submarine or something. I mean, there's no way. All right, we're set to kick things off. Start the second half here from Chanute. Pittsburgh High in the driver's seat comfortably. Got that seat kicked back. And the music playing because they're up 26-0 here. Start the second half. And there's the kickoff. Mishandled by Freeman. It's going to roll out of bounds. And because Freeman touched it, no flag.
Yeah.
And so the Dragons start deep in their own territory. I think they're going to mark that one at the 5-yard line. Woo.
So that one kind of stings PHS right there, but we'll see how they react to it as now their backs are against the wall.
This is their chance to go on that 95-yard back-breaking drive. They had an 85-yarder in the first half, took over their own 15, drove the length of the field, and 2 big pass plays on that drive. That's the one that was finished off by the 26-yard touchdown pass to Freeman. Now here's the handoff. Freeman with it across the 10, cuts back across the 15, shifty, across the 20, brought down at about the 22-yard line. So we'll call that a gain of 17 on the play.
Freeman, you just see size is not his specialty, but it's the quickness and the ability for his juke moves are what are really hurting the Chanute Blue Comet defense.
83 yards rushing now for Freeman in the ball game.
There's
a penalty flag on the play. At the end of it, there's a face mask call, a 5-yarder, so not the personal foul sort, just the incidental face mask. And that'll tack 5 yards onto the play. Just the second penalty tonight on Chanute. 10 penalty yards on them so far. I formation double tight for the Dragons. 2 wide receivers off to the far side. They're going to run option to the far side with Rourke. Quick pitch outside to Freeman. Cuts it back in. Man, he finds that lane, that little cutback lane. And able to turn it up for a gain of, I'm going to call it about 7 or 8. We'll see where they spot this.
looks like, yeah, about 7.
Look, yeah, that's a liberal 7, we'll call it.
I got to credit the blocking on the outside by Dylan White. He was the one able to push his corner outside to where his man couldn't even make a play on that. And that's what helped Freeman get to the outside even more and then for him to cut up.
Dragons have been gashing him on the edge tonight. High formation again. Fake the handoff to Evans. Rourke will keep it himself. He has the first down out across the 40-yard line to about the 41. The near line judge here is going to mark him just past the 40-yard line. So call that a gain of about 5 on the play.
And it honestly just looks like Chanute's getting overpowered here, Josh, because they're boxing that inside. Yeah. There's 7, 8 guys in there in that box at all times.
Yeah, they're not controlling that phone booth at all. You credit that offensive line for the purple and white. Now a bunch in the backfield there behind Rourke. Fakes or gives. Oh, man. Wow, nice first down run that time. That's Shea Mankin carrying it, the 5'8", 200-pound junior fullback in the ball game. And, man, give him about 12 yards on the play. Starting to mix some new players in. They're going to stay with that I formation now. Only a single tight end is Steele, and he'll motion to the near side. Toss sweep out to Freeman, has a block, using it, still using it, has 2 blocks, now cuts it back in. Oh my gosh, he's got all kinds of, they're going to mark him out at the 43-yard line. That's, man, must have been just the tip of his toe. I don't know about that one.
Well, I tell you what
is there a flag?
I think that they got to rule him out because the clock is stopped.
Yeah, they're talking it over. What is there to talk about?
Well, regardless, because they blew the whistle, the play's dead.
Yeah, the play's dead.
And it's going to end up being there. I'm not sure.
I don't know about that. That was some great blocking on the outside by the Dragons. That was Dylan White out there. Steele was out there. I mean, there was some great blocking to spring that run on the toss sweep to Freeman. I'm not convinced he stepped out of bounds, but I have a horrible angle compared to where the official was.
Well, and what also was amazing on that play is Freeman looked like he was just going to, take it easy and just step out of bounds, call it a play, but then he juked back at that last second.
There is so much discussion going on for what seems to be just a he stepped out of bounds call. Coach Nicholson
I know Coach Nicholson's arguing that
does
fact.
not like this.
He's on the opposite side of the field. He might not have been able to see it.
I can't determine if they threw a flag and then picked it up. I don't. They moved the ball back to the original line of scrimmage. Who knows what's going on?
I think we're getting a confirmation call here.
Well, it's going to be creative, whatever it is.
During play, we had an inadvertent whistle. Pittsburgh is elected to replay the down. First and 10.
Okay, there was an inadvertent whistle, so he didn't step out of bounds. That was going to be like a 40-yard run for Freeman.
Wow.
And an inadvertent whistle blows it up. And the Dragons have opted, they had the option, they've opted to replay the down. So it's 1st down and 10. Good old-fashioned 5th grade do-over. 10:08 to play, 3rd quarter. I formation, 2 wide receivers to the near side. I think it's going to be a toss sweep to the near side. No. Mankin with it. Pickup of 1 on the play. Not quite the same play that was blown dead last time. I'm going to call that about a 38-yard swing.
If you're Chanute, you're going to accept that
Yeah,
all day.
you'll take that all day.
Yeah. It's a win for them.
The official just swallow his whistle and breathe through it. Chanute to be perfectly happy. 9:33 to play, 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 9 for Pittsburgh High after the weirdest inadvertent whistle call I've ever seen in my life. Shotgun now for Rourke. Here's the snap. Has time. Throws. Long. Bobbled. Caught!
Wow.
It's caught! Oh, my goodness. Oh, Joel Kafka comes down with it. That was a circus catch, folks.
Wow.
And they'll mark this one down at the 8-yard line, 1st and goal for Pittsburgh High. So I was so mystified, I've totally lost track of how many yards that was on that pass play.
Well, it shouldn't have been caught, for one. It looked like it was in the hands.
Should have been picked.
Yeah, it should have been intercepted.
Another one just kind of thrown up for grabs.
And it just bounced off, and, good concentration and a way to hang on to that.
We'll call that a 33-yard pass.
That was Kafka. Yeah, Kafka had great concentration to reel that in.
Now they'll run option again. Rourke's going to keep it, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. So an 8-yard touchdown run by Ty Rourke. And the Dragons extend that lead 32-0, and this could probably turn into a JV game here pretty soon.
That's just the fake the inside, run it to the outside. Multiple options there for PHS as they've been doing what they wanted on this drive.
Yeah, talk about controlling the line of scrimmage. This drive, they dominated it. Now on to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. Dragons lead it. 33-0. 8:51 to play, 3rd quarter. We'll step away for 30 seconds, and we'll be back. You're watching Dragon Football on ESPN 1007.com and listening live at ESPN 100.7. Pittsburgh High on top of the Chanute Blue Comets. 33-0. Very one-sided affair here tonight. Dragons take the first possession of the third quarter and go 95 yards and cap it off with an 8-yard touchdown run by Ty Rourke. And I said when they took over, this is your chance for the 95-yard soul crusher drive.
Yep.
Put this one away, and that's exactly what we got out of the Dragon offense. Now that defense back out on the field. Chanute trying to find something that's going to work offensively, and they've yet to solve that riddle. There's another squib kick. Going to roll, and they're going to give the pursuit team time to get there. And a pretty decent return off of that. Some slippery running that time and some missed tackles. And Chanute will take over. 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line, so not terrible field position that time. And Peavy got the return, but he's coming off holding his elbow. Looked like he might have gone down a little awkwardly that time, but hopefully have time to shake that off over on the sideline.
And so now we'll see what the talk was in the locker room for Chanute, and we'll see if they can do something here with their first drive.
Familiar formation here. Shotgun for Bowman. Puts wide receiver in motion. Handoff will go dive right up the middle. And it's a pretty decent gain that time. A gain of about 7 yards. Probably the best, one of the best running plays of the night for Chanute. Davis with the carry.
They're going to keep their no-huddle offense. They're going to, what they call the NASCAR tempo, so they'll just look over to the sideline.
That NASCAR tempo, if you don't convert, that can hurt you. Empty backfield this time. 5 wide. And they'll run option to the far side. The pitch and caught in the backfield, having trouble, but he's going to turn it up. Oh, and brought down at the 40-yard line. Nice tackle by Dylan Jordan. Prevent them from picking up the first down. Shifty running in the backfield for the Blue Comets that time by Mason Manbeck.
Yeah, great play by Manbeck.
Man, he should have had a 5-yard loss, and he ended up with about a 5-yard gain. And there's going to be another penalty against Pittsburg. And it's, again, an offsides penalty. You got a defense, that pass rush is very aggressive. They're trying to bring pressure. You know Chanute's going to play fast. They're not going to hang on to the ball for long. And so the pass rush has to get there quickly. And so the hard count catches the Purple Dragons that time. And the first down of the game for Chanute comes at the 7:28 mark of the third quarter, and it's on a penalty. There's the snap. Bowman will keep it. And Dylan Jordan has him around the waist, and then he's cleaned up by a host of Dragons. And I don't know. He might have gained 1 yard on that one. That's a generous spot.
Credit to him for breaking away from 1, 2, maybe 3 defenders there.
Yeah, Dragons not quite as sure tackling tonight as they were last week against Lebec County. That first man brought them down last week, and tonight it's taken 2 or 3. I blame the powder blue jerseys. They're harder to hang on to.
I love it.
Shotgun now. Bowman again. Almost dropped the snap. Gets the pass away. It's picked off.
Yeah.
Picked off and coming back the other way. And he's going to go untouched into the end zone. Is that Brett Weimers? It is. Brett Weimers with the pick and the touchdown return.
No dirty laundry.
No flags on the field.
They're going to let this one stand.
And the Dragons extend that lead 39-0. And that is not what you needed if you're the Chanute Blue Comets.
And again, Josh, I think that's just the bad snap, and Bowman had to react last minute. He just lobbed it up there, and it hurt him again.
Yep.
Bowman got the worst of the deal because not only did he throw a pick six, he got walked on that play as well.
We'll call that a 45-yard interception return for a touchdown by Brett Weimers. stakes the Dragons to a 39-0 lead, 6:18 and counting to play here in the third quarter. As they switch out balls here. Man, Weimer's caught that one and took off like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, he was gone. No one on the field was going to catch him. I think if Bowman was up after.
He might have caught him, but Bowman was on his back.
Yeah.
And that's probably had something to do with that interception. There's the extra point attempt. Kick is up. And they split the uprights. Dragons on top now, 40-0, 5:42 to play, third quarter. Let's step away for 30 seconds, and we'll be back. You're listening to Pittsburg High Purple Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com. Welcome back to Chanute, Kansas. This one's in the books. Pittsburgh Purple Dragons dominate the Chanute Blue Comets 52-0. They're 2-0 on the season. Chanute falls to 1-1. Pittsburgh hosting Blue Valley North next week. They lost their first game this year to Bishop Miege in the first week of the season, 33-21. And Chanute on the road at Iola next week. They're playing at Wellsville right now. They lost their first game of the season, 49-14 against Parsons. So Chanute trying to bounce back against a rival, big important rivalry game there for the Blue Comets. Pittsburgh just going to try and keep it rolling against a really tough opponent from up in the KC metro area. Blue Valley North, they were one of the top 5 teams in the state of Kansas this year. Dropped a really tough one early in the season, but the Dragons are going to have the work cut out for them next week. Going to be a tough week of practice and maybe a different type of game to expect next week at Hutch Field. So if you can make it, if you're in town in Pittsburgh, you should definitely show up to Hutch Field. It's going to be a great atmosphere, a very competitive game. And, of course, if you can't make it, you can tune in here on ESPN 100.7 or catch us on the web at ESPN1007.com. We'll step away for 2 minutes and come back and talk things over with head coach Tom Nicholson of the Pittsburgh High School Dragons, and then we'll get out of here. You're listening to Pittsburgh High School Purple Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com.
GM Bank has been in the banking business since 1918.
For the record, Europe did the final countdown and not Sticks. Right now, we're pleased to be joined up here in the booth by head coach Tom Nicholson of the Purple Dragons. And, Coach, not a lot to complain about in a 52-0 victory. And now I know you're never satisfied, always something to work on, but penalties maybe. But, man, your squad came out and just dominated up front, both sides of the ball. It seemed like the offense started a little bit slow, but eventually the physicality, I think, just kind of took it over.
Well, it starts and ends with our defense tonight. They showed up from the first snap and controlled the game, the tempo, the physicality, and the offense. We certainly didn't do our part in the first half, and second half was a little bit better, but our defense played outstanding tonight. This game was their game, and the offense was just along for the ride for about 2 quarters of it.
And no first downs in the first half for Chanute. I mean, that's
impressive.
That's very impressive by that defensive unit. And, there were those talking about this Dragon squad who thought, man, they graduated so many seniors last year. There's no way this year's team is going to play to the caliber of last year's team, especially early in the season. But, man, that just hadn't been the case, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it's a fast, physical defense. I mean, our D-line, we're only playing 3 down linemen, and they're maintaining the blocks, but our 4 linebackers are as fast and as physical a group as we've had in a long time. Jarek Butcher and Ethan Whitert on the inside, and Dylan Jordan and Trent Austin on the outside are 4 outstanding athletes that can run and like to hit. They're physical. We just feed off them, and then you got Joel Kafka on the back end helping clean everything up, and Brett Weimer's returns 1 for a touchdown tonight. Ben Brenninger's the other corner. He's as tough a kid as we got on the team. It's just a fun group to watch. I don't coach any of them. I just get to stand back and watch them do their thing.
Well, an impressive display by those guys tonight. And one thing I noticed compared to last week the linebacking core put a lot of pressure on the passer. And this week they seem to be making those plays out in the open field on the edges a lot more. This Chanute offense kind of tried to stretch the field side to side on them, and they were right there to make those plays all night long.
Yeah, DJ and Trento did a nice job on the edge of taking away the sweeps and the bubble screens that they were trying to throw. We started trying to come after them, but Chanute had a nice game plan. They weren't going to sit in the pocket and let us come hit their quarterback. They were getting the ball out in a hurry, and that was by design. So. We just kind of switched I didn't have anything to do with it. Coach O'Bray and his staff switched what they were doing and kind of set back more and just made great tackles on the edge. And D-line did a great job reading screens. When we would send people, they would stop their rush and come back on those screens. It was just an outstanding effort by all 11 of them.
And on the offensive side of the ball, a different game as well. Last week you guys made a lot of hay between the tackles. This week it seemed like you found the edge and got around the corner really well using that option tonight.
A little different defense. They run Chanute runs a 3-3 stack, so they have 6 guys in the box at all time. And when you only have 5 offensive linemen, maybe 6 if you got a tight end, it's tough running on the inside. So everything was outside the tackle. We did a little misdirection and got a few on the inside with some quick trap stuff. But most of our yards were going to be outside just because they had the box so stacked.
Now, Ty Rourke, your quarterback, pretty efficient night passing, but had a couple of passes he'd probably like to have back, kind of threw him up for grabs there. I think there was one he didn't see the defensive back coming over to the safety coming over to close it off. But a good night passing the ball for the most part for him and also knowing when to not throw it and just tuck it down and get what he could.
Yeah, Ty's a good runner. He's quick. He's got good feet. But, obviously, he made a lot of nice throws tonight, but the 2 that he'll focus on and will focus on in film are the 2 that got picked because those were drive killers, and they were both kind of deep in territory going in for scores. But it's his second varsity start, and he's just getting better and better. But he's reading our option outstanding, and 95% of the footballs he's thrown have been good balls. It's either our guy or nobody, and he'll be the first one to say he probably shouldn't have thrown those 2, but the rest of his game tonight, he did a pretty good job reading for us.
And, your first 2 weeks against historically familiar opponents in Lebec County and Chanute, but next week playing host to Blue Valley North and probably a different ball game you're expecting out of that team. What do you expect out of Blue Valley North coming into Pittsburg next week?
Well, the first 2 teams we've faced had nice quarterbacks and had good athletes, but Blue Valley North's going to throw a whole different kind of athlete at you. They're 6A defending state champs. They got a quarterback that's recruited by everybody in the nation. They got skill guys everywhere that can run. It's just a different caliber of athlete, different speed of the game. So it'll be a week of trying to correct our angles and make sure that we're ready for that. Defensively, our kids are excited about it. It's a very big test for us. That's an outstanding offense, but our defensive coaches and kids are really excited to face it, and offense needs to do our part and let them rest and get some first down and try to put some points up.
Well, they're defending state champs, but they stumbled a little bit out of the block, losing their opener to Bishop Miege, so you got to think that they're going to be focused on week 3 coming into Pittsburg, and we're all expecting a very competitive game, and hopefully I kind of threw it out there. Hopefully folks show up and fill that stadium and make a great atmosphere like we know Pittsburg can do.
Oh, yeah, they will.
Coach, we certainly wish you good luck next week, and congratulations. Enjoy this one tonight on the wet and slippery ride home back to Pittsburg. and we'll catch you next week. Congratulations.
Sounds good. Appreciate you guys.
All right, that's head coach Tom Nicholson of the Pittsburg High School Purple Dragons. They come out on top here tonight, 52-0 over the Chanute Blue Comets in a dominating effort on both sides of the football. And Avi can't really hope for much better than that. And next week, like Coach said, defending 6A state champs coming into Pittsburg. So if you want to watch some top-tier high school football, you know where to find it. Downtown Pittsburg, Kansas.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, we have to wait 7 days for that to happen.
Yeah,
so,
darn it.
But on the good side is college football and the NFL's back, so there's football all around. So
You were just lamenting, like licking your chops. Football's back, thank
been
goodness.
dying for that, yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully the fall weather will come with it. And it's kind of here tonight. It feels like Scotland up in this press box. But
we got lucky because the rain's now here after the game. So
yeah, we get to drive home in it. Got to drive over in
yeah.
it. So it's all the joys of doing this sort of thing. So well, I think we're going to call it good for Shelby White, our man back in the studio, and for Avi Sharma. I'm Josh Leitner saying thanks for joining us tonight. You've been listening to Pittsburg High School Purple Dragon Football on ESPN 100.7 and streaming live on ESPN1007.com.